Yeah, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my first Zerg Hex tutorial video. Alright, now as you can see, the first seconds are extremely important. It's no time to go take a piss. What you're gonna do first is claim the first two gases, place one marine on the side and get your hotkeys ready. 4 is my barracks, 5 is my generator, 2 is my shock trooper and 1 my marines. Now as soon as your marines are battling the Zerg, you need to patrol your sentry. Next, you need a third SCV so you can better wall off the left side. You need to wall off quickly so that you can better control where the Zerg units are going to go and where you want them to go, really. And it's easier to contain the opponent. Now, I prefer walling the left side first because if you push up further enough with your main marines, your main forces, you can block him from seeing you take that side. So you can sneak that wall on the left side before he sees it, and then you can start walling off the right side. Now keep in mind that he might choose to F2 you. He might choose to group all his units and send them to you right away because you might be the biggest threat by doing this. You're basically going for the highest eco as fast as possible because gas is a lot of eco early on. And if you do this, he might choose to focus you if your teammates are not being aggressive enough. But still, if you got walls erected on the both sides, you've got a lot of options. You're in a much better position than if you don't have them. With the walls, it's gonna sometimes, if he's not focusing, microing his units correctly, his units is gonna start attacking the walls instead of attacking you, so it may leave you some time to rest between his attacks, between his F2. So now as you can see, my right side is almost finished. We're 2 minutes in, I'm almost secure. Now as soon as this wall is done with, I'm gonna want to do as many fruit farms as I can as soon as possible. Now keep in mind, if you are feeling a little less confident, you don't want to aggro the Zerg, you can build like 6 sheep farms in your base before starting to do the fruit farms. That's a very ideal strategy. You make only 2 fruit farms, so you don't lose your fruit farms if he chooses to F2 you and you lose all the land. And you still have some mineral income in your base because of the sheep farms in there. So you don't straight up lose gas, basically, which is very valuable in the beginning of the game. So what I'm gonna do as soon as I can, as you've seen, I've produced a Reaper. Now the Reaper doesn't cost energy, so it really helps you hold better the Zerg, especially if he starts going eco, which is massing a lot of slowlings and a few strikelings early on. That's why getting 6 Reapers is a really healthy early game decision. They can clear the rock in your base for free, and if he ends up focusing you, they will come in handy. Now we're 3 minutes in, I got a few fruit farms up. Now I want to make the fruit farms on the right side first, so that if he chooses to focus that side, I will make my construction yard as soon as possible so that the walls will be more resistant and they will regenerate health over time. Now I'm starting to think about a sheep farm. Obviously, as soon as I have the fruit farms that will ideally place my construction yard, I'm gonna make the sheep farm. Unless you want to go for a mid-game push, I suggest going cows. If you want to go for a mid-game push, you can go for the sheep. Sure, you can mass them. They're faster to get, but I prefer going for the cows so I can have a better mid-game, late game. But they're more expensive, so that's why early game I suggest going for like 6 sheep farm and get like 2 fruit farms going at max output. Now keep in mind that this is a practice mode, so obviously the Zerg is not building any spawners. You could see this as a game where the Zerg chooses not to focus you and how you can best maximize your eco before he has anything to build onto you. Now you see I'm going to destroy the right side here to make a gate. There's something very ILO players do that I found out recently that's very interesting. You can trade gas or minerals with probes, basically. So it's a very good thing to get gates on both your sides, so that if in the mid game the Zerg doesn't pay attention, you can sneak some gases in. Basically, it costs you 60 gas to make one, and it's gonna give 100 gas once it reaches the command center. So that's a 40 gas extra. So you do that like 5-6 probes at a time with a few marines that protect them on the side. It's really easy, you know, and it's gonna completely boom your economy and your teammates' economy. It's also gonna demoralize the Zerg from attacking you on your construction yard side. If you have gates on either side, you know, it shows him that you can easily come out with marines if he's not paying attention, or if you just see him attacking. So, you know, that's another plus. Now we're about to hit the 5-minute mark. I've had 3 Reapers on my main army for a while in the front, and I've had 3 Reapers on the rock in the back. I'm gonna break the rock in a second, and now that enables me another refinery and 2 fruit farms, as well as 3 sheep farm spot or a cow farm, whatever. That's a very valuable spot in your base to unlock early on and safe. So the next thing you want to do right now is you want to keep harassing the Zergs. So he's like, you know, oh, what is this guy doing? You know, like you can't leave him. He can't leave you with no pressure at all at this point, or he's gonna pay. You know, so you show him that you're already attacking the extractors, and he might be even like, okay, that's too early. I can't even do anything to it. So if you do it that early, you might forget about it for a while, and you might unlock gas refineries for free because he's busy with another of your teammates. You know. And meanwhile, you're still thinking about the construction yard as soon as possible. I don't think I've done it yet. I'm gonna do it around 7 minutes at this point. When I'm having this kind of early game, I like to go for the gas extraction level 1 at least as soon as possible and get my construction yard down as soon as possible so that I can buff my gas regeneration. Now, as you can see, I haven't cleared the right side just yet. But because I opened the gate, the Zerglings have went to that side. So if you open the gate and there's a rally point, you're gonna attract the unwanted attention there. So if you can keep it as short as possible, it's ideal. Now, when you want to defend easily on a side where you don't have a construction yard, you could send like 4 or 5 SCVs, and the creepers are going to have a much harder time to kill your SCVs, and you're going to be able to repair the walls much easier. You can leave like 1 or 2 Reapers to just clear out the creepers so that you can't mass a whole bunch of them and take out your SCVs. Now my base is about to be finished. As soon as you've finished expanding all the fruit farms, that's when you want to have your construction yard or armory up. I prefer going for construction yard first, as I said, so that I get the earliest, the quickest gas income. There we go. Now with this, my wall will be much stronger too. I don't suggest going for 2-layer walls at this point. It's much more important to spend your gas in an economic way. Now I have my 6 sheep farms, so I don't plan on doing any more for now. Just building fruit farms gives you minerals, by the way. Yeah. Having them up produces minerals. When the fruits disappear, it gives you minerals. Yeah. Even if there's no sheep farms on it. Yeah. That's why the people do it first. Yeah. When you have land, it's more worth it to have fruit farms up than sheep farms. And since I'm defending very comfortably, you know, I'm making all the fruit farm first. I'm doubling the left wall because this wall is not protected by a construction yard. So I want to have time to see the Zerg coming if he comes that way, so I can defend. Now I'm gonna start upgrading all my refineries so I can double every refinery's output. It takes 80 minerals each, so that's minerals I'm not investing in an army. If you would have been focusing me, that's not the way I would have went. I would have made an army as soon as possible. I would have made more marines and more upgrades on my generator. Now keep in mind that what I'm suggesting is IE low, but also very attainable. If you do this every game, you're gonna get first much better at doing it, and second, you're gonna help out your teammates. If your side teammates have gates like you close by and they're somewhat handling the Zerg well, it's a very good idea to think about trading, but make it sneaky. The Zerg can't know about it. It's too valuable information. So I'm finishing all the refinery upgrades. I'm thinking about doubling my wall now. No, I'm making the wall to the teammate. Symbolically. Which I don't have in this game. But yeah, you could easily defend, you know, at that point you could easily make an armory Leave your Marines here, make Marines on the right side, but that's a little bit early. To be honest, it's a little bit early. I don't have enough military output. I was just wondering what to do, I think. But you can keep in mind also that if you're doing that, your teammate is probably doing it, and you see he's right there to the right, so he would be right here, you know. It's very close. So it's easy to split like 10-15 Marines soon enough to defend this side. Just my Reapers will take care. Just my Reapers will take care of the incoming Zerglings. So I have 3-4 SCVs on the left side. So if he chooses to attack that, I can repair it quickly. Now I have my armory up. I'm making, oh yeah, my generator is max energy, so I'm making an advanced battery which is tougher to kill and stores 2,500 energy. That is like 3 times the normal sentry, approximately 4 times. In the early game, if you don't want to waste energy, it's good to spend like 15 minerals and 40 gas on an advanced battery. Plus it helps you to be more mobile. You can send little fleets of Marines with the advanced batteries on exploration routes. Now you see I'm starting the production. I don't even have cow farms at this point. I'm going entirely for the gases because gases is the main output you want at this point. I'm just making sure I'm not going to get overwhelmed. Now this is very valuable too. Make at least 2 power pylons. Those 2 are very easy to build, and with these 2 you're gonna greatly reduce the amount of distance that these sentries have to travel to get charged up. So you can maximize the output that the sentries have to give you. Make sure to split your units when you have a lot of distance to defend. Split them up evenly so that you can't sneak on one side while you're busy doing something else. Now it's 13-14 minutes in. It's a little bit early to wall off, but you're never too safe, to be honest. This is a very safe wall I'm doing. 2 gates so that you can easily come out, and then a line of walls that he's gonna have to funnel all his units through. Now I've got the shattering laser technology. That technology is very useful. It's gonna hit like 2 enemies instead of 1. 2 more enemies. You have the overcharge, which is like the stim pack but doesn't cost HP. And the penetrating laser, which gives +1 damage. Each one of them costs gas, so that's why I go for the gas extraction at least level 1 and our early construction yard and all the refinery upgrades. Now at this point you're standing very strong. So now at this point minerals are no issue, and Marines are expendable. So don't let up the pressure. Go at him hard, non-stop. Make sure that the next game he's gonna make sure to focus you from the beginning. I have all the basic technologies on the Marine, so I'm pressuring the Zerg. I'm gonna kill a hive, which gives me a buggo. The buggo is a very useful another source of Vespene income. It has 30 seconds invulnerability when you kill the hive, so make sure that it doesn't get blocked by your Marines or your gates. Sometimes the Zerg ILO will try to block it with a few of his units. Don't let him do that. Now I'm taking out the mineral extractors. These buildings create mineral income for the Zerg, so you cannot leave them be. If you're gonna go get the stuff, you get everything. You don't leave nothing. Now, as soon as the Zerg loses buildings, he should replace them. If he doesn't, it's a big mistake. It affects his income. So he's gonna be busy when that happens. That's an opportunity. You see my wall extends very far, so it's very easy at that point, like 15 minutes in, it's very easy to get the gas trading started. Now if you do that, you start trading gas for like 10 minutes easily, because it's easy to defend until 20 minutes when you have this kind of start. Well, let me tell you, you have a very strong early game at that point. So now I'm starting to call farm production. Tech lab is a good idea too at this point, because you're probably going to start floating energy if you don't get a tech lab. I'm going to think about it a little too late, I think, here. Yeah, now I'm thinking about the tech lab. I'm feeling a little bit more military. This side is the left side is looking weak. I'm gonna give some reapers. I always make the cow farms on the bottom first because it's closer to send the cows as soon as you have them built. Now we're approaching the 20-minute mark, and I'm looking really strong. By 20 minutes I will have cows in on every fruit farms approximately. If I had had a teammate with gas trade, this would have been even faster. I mean, I might not have had the cow farms up, but the gas would have been higher. And then as soon as this gas probe starts coming in, you start building a lot of cows. It's better to go for the gas because this is the side that is harder to gain by yourself. Minerals are easier to gain by yourself, but gas is much more valuable on the trade. I mean, so now I'm doing the tech lab. I've been losing a little bit of energy, to be honest. Not ideal, especially for a game with no opponents, no pressure, but you know, I'm sure you get the idea. At this point I'm very comfortable, so it doesn't matter if I make little mistakes in terms of eco like this. Ideally I could have went and helped my teammate by now too. Could have made a little bigger army and go swoop in all of the spawners that are out of reach of the large fires. I wouldn't suggest going to the large fires before you have the veteran marines. It's too easy to lose too many units. So yeah, by this point, it's a different game entirely. If you've mastered what's happened from now to here, you know that's already the biggest part, the biggest challenge, I'd say. After that, you know, it's always going to be circumstances. You know, you're going to have to make chases depending on what the opponent Zerg does to you and who he chooses to focus, how he chooses to play. If he goes tanklings, man, it's good against buildings. So he's gonna try to drain energy, so you need a lot more reapers. This is the full expand max eco type of build, but there's also the one gas strat that is pretty good. You can look it up. I haven't made a video about this, but the one gas strat, if you're new to this, it's a pretty good strategy. If at least you secure one gas and you get your tech lab up as soon as possible, don't waste energy, you can help your teammates when they decide to apply pressure on the Zerg. So now you see I could have been trading with two teammates. That requires a lot more APM, but really, like, not that much. Basically, I'm not doing much. My units are just staying there. I'm not pressuring. I'm not going up forward on the buildings to the spawners too. Oh. Yeah, sometimes when sometimes you're gonna lose SCVs too because you're not paying attention to when the wall hands and where you place the next building to build. So by this point, I'm basically trying to rush the veteran marines. I could even go, to be honest, I would go straight to elites probably, but like leave them as a bunch of marines who don't cost energy. Tier 1 marines in the base with the armory are enough to defend, so they cost less energy, so you could just leave it that way. But if you get the conservation, it's fine to go up to the veterans, safer too, if he chooses to F2 you. You're safer. When you want to go for the elite push, I suggest not showing them. I suggest hiding them in the back of your base so he doesn't know, the Zerg doesn't know, and doesn't try to drain your energy. Because if he sees your elites, he might know that you're a threat and choose to focus you. Now here with this, all this free space, you have more space for food farms, and what is 30 gas? You know, it's nothing, so might as well do it. Approaching the 800, 900 mineral income, 500 gas income. I'm in a very good position at this point. I'm just producing military output as much as possible, checking the technologies that I want next. My generator is very low because I wasn't this wasn't the real game, so I didn't really pay attention to my energy, to be honest. But yeah, this is how it looks like. From here on, it's you know, you have a pretty good strong position in the game. Now here you could also think about making the walls upgrades. By 20 minutes, it's very valuable tech, because you might choose to focus one of your walls, or even your expands, your little tunnels, to your friends. It's a very good choice to upgrade your walls. The tech for the converter to get more gas, that would be a valuable choice too, because we have so much minerals, we're almost floating it, to be honest. So you see, I choose to upgrade my veteran marines because I have way too many way too many minerals. And yeah, I was saying, if you would choose to go for the converter here, it would be pretty smart. You make like 4 or 5. With these veteran marines, 55 veteran marines, you can already push out, to be honest. But I wouldn't suggest it. If you have this much of a strong base, it's probably smarter, unless you're gonna go for the side creeps or whatever spawners. The central spires are gonna be much harder to kill. If you're gonna do that, make sure that you have some teammates, or you have yourself some energy stored up, so you can use the stasis, so you can use a power field. The stasis is gonna lower at least like practically half of the spire's HP, and it might kill the infestors. You see, like this. If there were infestors, I would do it on the infestors. Much more important to do it on the infestors than on the spire. The spire you can damage with your marines. So I'm gonna do a power field, which is gonna boost my +3 damage on all my marines. Overcharge. Going for 1. As soon as I've repaired, I want to go for the next one too, if I can, right away. And there we go. We have the central spires. This is huge. The Zerg cannot lose those if he wants to have a good chance in the game. Those two central large spires are the most important. Usually he's gonna have infestors to transfusion them to save them. So with 55 marines, I can just remake my army and then go up to the 2 next easily, because there's no opponent. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.